It's Thankful Thursday. How you guys doing today? I hope everything is well. So I had a few messages and I wanted to express them today and I'm just feeling grateful because um, you know, I'm trying to get out of this place. And once disrespect is served cold, it's time to go. And I just know that I am sick and tired of being sick and tired. So let's just hope everything go good and I get out of the fecal matter house. All right. So I have a few messages today, and I really hope everybody's feeling good in their spirit. I hope everything's all well. I try to record this video like 3 times, and I always talk about like my spirit has a signal that I notice that when negative energy is around, my left eye always twitches, and then like something in my spirit, because I'm very sensitive. I'm good with energy, and a lot of times I'm never wrong. It's me making bad decisions, or sometimes I would try to um, give people the benefit of the doubt, even though I know what's going on. So, with that being said, I just wanted to come and continue to record my videos. Um, I'm not going to be discouraged regardless of the commentary that has been happening prior for, I want to say, it's been a year. It's been somebody just constantly back and forth with some insulting things towards me and what have you. But I feel like it's somebody that knows me. I feel like it's personal because I just don't think it's random. And then when I go on these pages, because I was subscribed to the channel just to see, um, maybe I know this person or what have you, but it's a lot of randos. But anyhow, um, not to focus on the negative too much. Oh my goodness. Well, I guess I don't need it, huh? And so, I wanted to wear those. It's my grandma's earrings. I love my grandma. So, but anyway, they keep falling. I think I need like a backing for them not to slip. But anyway, I just wanted to reflect on being thankful, and that's why I said Thankful Thursday. Because God will put you back together and make you stronger right in front of the people that try to break you. And so this is not trying to prove anything, but just showing that, resilience, perseverance, and being determined is something that is in my spirit. So I'm not going to ever give up. I'm that type of person that is like, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to just keep on pushing forward no matter, what happens. Life is lifing. But I just know that when you believe in yourself, there's possibilities. You never know where it can go. So never give up on yourself. And it's a redundancy, and a lot of people say it, but never give up. I was gonna give up a couple times. Like I said, I've been stagnant for 9 years, and I feel like it's a cycle. I've been in a loop, especially with my daughter for 5 years, and then having these things on my record that's a barrier to my employment and things like that. So I'm just trying to be encouraged because I remember filling out 150 applications, and I remember going to a supermarket interview. I went to the supermarket interview like 3 times, and the interviewer, I remember his name. I never forget. I might remember things like in different increments, but I do remember a lot, and that's why I think sometimes people that are in my past will come probably check out my profile looking to see if I'm talking about them, or sending their family members to check out my page to see if I have a story about if they're starring on a post, but some people I'm just not gonna give them that. You're not that important. in my life, and then you weren't important in my past. So there's no need for me to talk about you. If I talk about it, that means it's something that was really traumatic and it's still reoccurring. I probably might still have flashbacks or dreams and things like that. So those are the things that I would go ahead and talk about. But um I just know that I just wanted to note that whoever's watching, I noticed that as well. I'm not foolish. I might play foolish, but I'm not foolish. So it's a lot of things that people probably are surprised about me going forward, that where they're like, wow, I didn't know that about Diane. I didn't, whatever. But you never knew me because you never wanted to know me, and you just only wanted to have a negative. You just wanted to be negative. I just feel like a lot of the people that I've met, they've always been like a negative connotation. Oh, but it was 10:10 on the clock. So that's a good number as far as what I'm seeing in the spiritual world. So anyway, I do have 6 cards because I usually pull three, but since I didn't do one yesterday, that I just had to make that video about whatever. So, but moving forward, so I have lucky number 2 with a message that says, it's worth the time. It's worth the time to believe in yourself. It is worth the time to invest in yourself. It's worth the time to always put you in front of anyone. It's kind of hard if you're a parent, the children come first in the instance, but also too, you have to take time for you. And I'm also following my own words as well, taking my own advice because it's true. So lucky number 2, I feel like that's a good number. So that message there. Then I have, the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. So I feel like it's a little pattern here. It's basically it can be, for me, it could be just the message of the universe saying that keep going no matter what your dreams are. You know, you have nothing to lose when you invest in yourself. I always believe that. I had people tell me like, oh, you're wasting your time going to school, whatever. But, when I think about it, I don't think it's a wasted paper, because when I look at it, I feel accomplished with myself. I get self gratification that, wow, you did that, so you took your time and you got a certificate of recognition, a degree or occupational degree, whatever the things that I had accomplished. I am proud because I did it. I could have just been complacent, not trying to do anything. So I always encourage that, even if I wasn't on the channel, even when I have associates, or even on passing with stranger or whatever, I always tell people like, don't be sorry, or no, that's okay. I always been mindful and kind, because you never know what somebody's going through, and then simple words make somebody feel good. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't cost money to be kind. It doesn't take anything out of you. But if you're just that type of person that's a negative Nancy or negative Nathan, then of course you're gonna be a meanie. Or miserable Mandy, miserable Matthew. But yeah, so the next one is Call of Light. And I always like the light. I always like to do images that's angelic. I like the goddess images, strong woman images. I like anything that shows, strength in your characteristics, that I'm here, I'm not going to let anybody, I'm going to stand tall. What's the thing now? Stand on business, 10 toes. So, that's basically my messages. I really, where the people say, you're supposed to say, I get paid to exist. If that happens, but the Lord still bless me. So at the end of the day, I feel like you're not supposed to always think about financial at the beginning. You know, some, of course, in this day and age, yeah, that's the thing. You want to have a stream of income, but I feel like you gain your rewards when it's something that is truly a passion to you, that you feel in your heart, that you wake up every morning, or you every day, and then you're just um, you go to sleep at night and that's all you could think about, all you can think about, and that's the thing that you put your heart in, because it's obviously something in your head, or maybe you know, synchronicities with the universe. You know, some people don't believe in source, but I feel like there's something pulling you towards that, and I think that's what you should follow. Even though sometimes we have 9 to 5s, that doesn't coincide to what we want to do in life as far as our passion goes, but you could still utilize that stream of income with your 9 to 5 and put towards your dream. You know, I remember a gentleman I met. He was like, you know, if you put $10 from every paycheck, um, and you know, by that time you look at the end of the, you know, because 4 weeks in a month, right? So, and he said you just keep putting that $10, or if it's what it is, whatever you could do, $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, and you just keep putting it up. It's gonna accumulate, and it's gonna be like a treat for yourself, because then when you realize that, wow, I put this up, and then you can have it for a rainy day, or it can be something towards your investment, or a trip, or a massage, something to treat yourself. And I'm really, oh, I saw a butterfly. I'm really just wanting to keep positive in that way. I just feel like it's so beautiful. I just, every time I see, I just know that that's good vibrations. I would turn the camera, but it's not like staying at the window, but I just keep seeing on my peripheral. But yeah, so the call of light. So deep within your heart, there is a call urging you towards the light and freedom. Trust that every step you take gently guides you closer to your true home. Call of light. And you see the lady, and she's walking into the light, and it's like um, she has hope. She knows that something will align. And when you feel that, I think everybody should, you know, we all, like I said in my other videos, we all have something to offer. We all have purpose. We all have beauty. If you don't feel like it's on the exterior, it may be in the interior. You know, we all have different vibrations. You know, and beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So there's always something to give and to offer. Um, to the world, you know, or the people around you, or the people you work with, you know. I just always feel like there's something you have, your attributes, your characteristics, your personality. You know, somebody might like to see you smile, that makes their day, or you're in passing, going to work, and you go grab a coffee, and then the guy Joe at the gas station, you know, he sees you, and then your local is like, oh, what's up, how you doing? You know, it's always something to make you feel good vibrations. And we all have bad days, and you see me, because I'm a perfect example. I've cried on here, I've cussed, I've extol my ignorance as far as like yelling when, you know, with the bullying and things like that. So I just feel like we all have things to offer, and we should never shun somebody for emotions. I don't really like when I see something says know how to control your emotions, don't let people see you cry, this, that, whatever. I rather let the emotions out instead of going to jail, because I don't want to act on being angry all the time, because that just ends up having you distraught. It takes a lot of energy out of you and things like that. So, you know, I'm still working on it myself. So I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm perfect or anything like that. It's just things that I recognize that I would share. And if, you know, it resonates with you, that's great. And so I also have I got my positive spiritual affirmation, so that's going to be the next 3. So this one is, I let go and float through any times of stress. I let go and float through any times of stress. So that's like me, and that's like alchemizing, you know. So there's times where I'm laughing and crying because I would, like, I remember when I was working and I would go to work and something would come over me. So like I've been going through situations with my daughter for 5 years. So a lot of the times when I feel affected, you know, because it does take a toll on me regardless, when she was in the facilities or, you know, out of the home, it's like a piece of me is missing because that's my baby. So at the end of the day, I'm still affected. So I know when people be like, oh, F those kids and stuff like that, it's like sometimes it's a little harsh to me because I can't say that. And I just feel like, especially being a black woman, I can't just say that because she needs guidance, especially living in this world where everything is race. People judge you by your race. People judge the way you talk, the way you look, your appearance, and things like that. So that's why I've come to my channel where my face, I don't have my eyebrows on or whatever, because that's me. So I still have to love me. So if people can't accept the bare naked face and still love you, or they only love you when you're dolled up, or like, you know, when you got your nails done or you got color in your face and stuff like that, just feel like, wow, that's the only way you're gonna respect me because I look a piece into the eye and things like that. So I feel like a lot of those stuff that we have as far as living on this planet Earth is like very superficial and shallow sometimes, and it's kind of sad. And this is why I do stay to myself. So my next message is, you are worthy of all good things. You are worthy of all good things, and we should always feel like we're worthy and we deserve better. And I feel like that's what the movement is with most of the ladies. I don't think like we just hate men overall. We just don't like how things have been falling into place where women are losing their lives, children are losing their lives. You know, uh, I know there's women that's PDFs. I know there's, you know, men that's PDFs. So I'm not gonna just say generalize to one gender, but at the same token, I just feel like, you know, people need to pay attention and really find out who the people you're around. You know, just don't take face value. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times you look at somebody like, oh wow, he's nice looking, you know, she's pretty, and then they do vile things, and you're just like, oh my God, I would never think. So that's why we need to start being a little mindful, you know, ladies. I'm talking to myself as well, because like even when I'm outside, I'm not playing. I got little concoctions, so I spray it in your eyeball. I got time to run because it's gonna burn. So, you know, things like that. I don't carry like knives and things like that because I just feel like, you know, just in case something does happen, you get caught with a weapon. You know how it is. So I try to be mindful for that, but make sure I will make sure I have something that I know I can get away in time, where I can try to get to help or something like that. So we have to really start being prepared. Um, uh, Having a handgun, you know, like a 22, a 25, you know, those are cute and stuff like that. But I would suggest somebody to go, you know, if you want to get some training, like, you know, our self defense. I'm gonna try to do that as well, like boxing and stuff like that. That's good discipline, you know. But I feel like we need to start working on those things. I know those classes cost some money. You know, they have some DIY videos that would show you how to, you know, knock somebody or hit them in the jugular, or, you know, try to overthrow them if they try to get you by the chokehold. You know, certain things like that. So I feel like, you know, we really need to start doing that, ladies. If you're watching, you know, gentlemen, if you have daughters, start teaching them how to punch and stuff like that, you know. Teach the little ones to know when they see a stranger, not to be so, um, be aware and not be so inviting, like, you know, when somebody, excuse me, guys. So I have a card which is trust, Faith, surrender, and belief. Trust that everything is working in your highest good. Trust that everything is working in your highest good. Faith, surrender, and belief. So I'm going to use myself as an example why I chose this route of surrendering and being a loner and wanting to be closer to the Most High is the simple fact that the things that I have dealt with people, excuse me, and I just feel like at this point I don't want to um, like shut it out completely, but I just feel that I don't have time um, to let somebody in at this point. Maybe a couple years down the line, maybe. But the way how things is going, I'm very devoted and focused on myself. You know, my family. Um, I don't think that having someone that's not aligned or respect the fact that, because you know some people be like, oh, you're celibate and you're being spiteful, you just don't want to give up the cookie or whatever, that's the case. But you see what's going on? We got all kind of viruses, we got all kind of STDs, the super waffle, the super gonorrhea, and it's turning your genitalia blue and purple and all that stuff. Let me tell you something. The fact that I already went, I did medical assisting and then, you know, labs and clinicals, and you see the microorganisms in the lab and stuff. There's things we cannot see by the naked eye. I'm not about to play with you. So that's why I'm just to the point where I'm like, I don't have time. I just don't really, when I see the stories of women dying, I see women getting murdered and all this stuff. I don't want to be in La La Land. And you know, I've seen people like, not to disclose people's business, but I've seen people like, you know, they're married and they're getting beat up, and it's like, you know, I don't have time for that, and I've already been through that, and I'm not going through that. Nobody's putting their hands on me. Nobody's disrespecting me. I don't even like to kiss, because you know when I found out. But see, when you go into the medical world, and you know with health administration, anything with health, and you start finding out different things. And when I first found out that saliva stays in your mouth for 3 days, and I don't know who he with. He could be with Sandra, Lisa, and all of them. And then I'm all kissing him, and then you know some men love to you know salivate, and then is it salivate or salivate or whatever, and they want to put their tongue and you know all this stuff. Is like, oh my goodness. So I really have an issue when once I see that you got a rotten tooth, or you're not taking care, you're not even washing yourself, you're not bathing, or any all those, you know, hygiene is a big thing. So I like when a man says, I like you know, if I'm watching dating shows, like I love Pop the Balloon. So I'll watch that, and when a man says hygiene, I know that he cares for himself. That's a big thing, hygiene. You know, and I know growing up, I wasn't really taught about certain things. It was like kind of just people tell me, and then they insult me when I do the wrong thing or whatever. So I kind of had to learn on my own about keeping myself clean, and then not knowing, and then sometimes dating somebody that's older than you, and then they want to insult you and say, oh, you know, you're not taking care of yourself. I remember one time um I was in a relationship, and this guy says, the reason I cheated on you is because Shorty smell like Victoria's Secrets, and that's why I want to be with you, because you don't smell like Victoria's Secret. And I laughed to myself, and I was like, okay, so because she is wearing alcohol based lotion and sprays, that makes her clean. So I was like, wow, that's crazy. But anyway, you know, you learn things as you go along when you're in relationships with people, because they always like to tell you about yourself. And it was things that I could have told that gentleman, like some people when they wear grills, their mouth, when they take it out or whatever, and they don't brush their tongue. Like I learned that a lot too. Brushing the tongue is very important. um and also too, if you chew some people might not like it, but if you chew cloves, and that would really like keep your mouth, and also it helps with like it's an antibacterial um killer. You know, it kills bacteria. Antibacterial kills bacteria. So that's one of the things I know for like herbs. Cloves is good to chew. Peppermint tea in the morning is good. It kind of cleanses out. That's a good herb. Um, Chamomile, that's good. You know, and also too with energy, apple cider and a little shot of honey kind of gives you a little zhuzh. That's kind of a natural energy thing. Energy enhancer, like to help you feel if you're feeling like a downer. It's an upper, I wanted to say. And so with that being said, that was my messages for today. I know I usually do my goddess quotes, but I hadn't did a lot of notes because they've been back and forth in my home, and I've been kind of like in an uproar, so things is just kind of like unorganized. I'm like, you know, when they say how your house is what your mind is, and so I've been kind of like scatterbrained, um, and you know, not on purpose, but just with the circumstances is because you know when you start to think about your livelihood and transitioning, you're not really sure, like, okay, oh my god, I hope I don't have to go back, because I've been in a lot of shelters um, out here. I've been to the Shade Tree, Family Promise, uh, Las Vegas Rescue Mission, and I think that's it. Yeah. So I know what it is to be without. I know what it is to be, unfortunate, impoverished, without a need, and you need assistance. You know, I've been there. I've slept in my car. You know, with my kids. I've worked 2 jobs, still couldn't make it. So I know the struggle. So I'm not ignorant to that factor. So, but the fact that I'm a homebody now and I do help my daughters with their sons if they have things to do. So I rather support my daughters because I didn't really have that. And I understand I'm not being upset about it with the cards that was dealt to me, but I do believe in supporting them in that aspect because it's hard when you're a single mom and you have to pay child care fees, and then the child's father is not able to help you financially, or things is not as well, like maybe the relationship kind of subsided and went to the wayside. Is excuse me, it's just null and void. It's over. It's nothing to negotiate, and you're just there by yourself. So I know how that is. So I try to be a supporter, but it still makes me feel kind of like an invalid in a way because I'm codependent on my daughters helping with bills and things like that. So that's why I came on here, because I was like, listen, you got to think and do something. You can't just sit here. And I don't have money to buy materials to try to do make products. Maybe along the line I would. But right now is just, this is what it is, and this is my bread and butter. I haven't had any success yet because I know they said you're supposed to get like 4,000 watch hours, and you need at least 500 to 1,000 subscribers. So like I said, I've been here a year, and I just erased my excuse me, I just deleted one page with a lot of things that I felt was very creative, but I guess it wasn't. But I did get a lot of traction, like a lot of sometimes a 16-second video or a 30-second video. I think my highest was 14K, and it was a video, AI video I made with Steel Pan. I tried to like recreate it, but it wasn't as I guess that was just one of those things I was like, whoa, and I was like, wow, and that's why I kept going, because I thought I would have, but I showed my face and it went, so I guess it was like, oh, this is who making it? Oh, my gosh, I don't want to watch her, and it was like, that's it. but it's okay. So, but that was the messages today, guys. And, I just hope all you guys are doing well. I really, really wish beautiful things on, people today because we really, oh man, it's like it's up in the air. We just going one day at a time, right? But I feel good. I still have a roof over my head. It's still not where I want to be, but I know I would get to where I need to be, and I will share the good news with you guys once everything falls into place, which I know it will because I believe it will. So I'm gonna just end the video, and I'll be back with another one. And so, peace, love, and light, gratitude, and abundance to the family. Um, Peace to all the beings. I just love saying that. I'm gonna make another video because that was so cute. Peace to all the beings. I just love it. And that's it. So, Goddess Naklaban is out 100. And then also too, somebody asked me where did I get Naklaban. It was something in my dream. I woke up and I just heard Naklaban. I don't know what. Don't ask me. It sounds weird. If it sounds strange, I am weird and strange, and I embrace it. I don't have no problem with I am animated. That's just me by nature. As things go along, and I have more other topics, I like to do in impressions and different accents and things like that. I might annoy some people, but hey, whatever. So and I guess also too, that's probably why I'm single, because I guess a guy would be like, yo, why are you trying to sound like a dude? But it's just me being playful. I've always liked to imitate accents and things like that. So I remember like playing around, and I see my friends walking on the block or whatever, and then I'll just be like, yo, what up? And then they be like, who that? And I pretend, and they looking around like, who's that? And it's me. So they be like, girl, I know you ain't sounding like no dude like that. So, but it's just something about me, I'm a latchkey kid. I'm a TV land kid. So a lot of shows that I watched back in the day, So you can't help it. Like one Saturday morning, and like I watched Mork and Mindy, God bless, rest in peace, was like Nanu, stuff like that. And Electric Company. I watched PBS, and then I used to always love. There was one show that said, "Keep your eye on the prize. Keep your eye on the prize." And it was like Martin Luther King. They would show Malcolm X, all those clippings and things like that. And then I remember like music video channels, like Video Music Box with Ralph McDaniels, and then Bobby Simmons. He had a video show. And I remember all those things. Like I really loved my childhood growing up. It was good. So I guess that's where my animation comes from. So some people mistake it like, oh my god, what's going on with this one? But it's okay. It's all good. But anyway, have a great Thursday. It's 10:38 a.m. in Nevada, and I just wish everybody peace, blessings, financial increase, everything, all the good things, because we all need it. And I just really hope that things get better. That's just me with my optimism, and I guess that's why people would ask, you doing acid? You sure you don't pop pills? What are you happy about? But whatever. All right, guys. See you later. See you next time. Peace, 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 peace.